Peace, peace, peace. Tap in, tap in. We doing a whole nother basically the same lecture as we did earlier. If y'all was there earlier, you know what I'm saying, then you are probably gonna be familiar with what I'm talking about. But if not, peace. Everything applies. Who are you? Who are you? Are you physical or are you non-physical? And what does that actually mean? Peace, 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 peace to everybody tapping in right now. We're gonna wait for a little second. Dr. Mama, how you doing? Peace. The question is, who are you? How do you define yourself? Is anything or anyone defining you? Or are you the sole controller of your reality? Peace, peace, Queen. Are you the sole controller of your reality? Or is someone else the sole controller? Or something else that you deem higher than yourself, knowing damn well that you are divine? Somebody told me the other day that you know how you divine when individuals can't even be around you. If an individual comes around you and they can't be in your presence, that's a sign, a telltale sign that you are divine. That's okay, Dr. Mama, you here. But how do you truly define yourself? You know, even though, or even despite of what I'm about to talk about or whatever, after all of that, personally, how do you define yourself? That's the most important thing. I think we fail to realize that we're on a path that initially we're leading ourselves. When we're tapping into these higher realms and higher dimensions, they're just different aspects of our own self, our own personal being. So by tapping into them and by allowing these different, I'm talking about the beings that you feel like you interfacing with, when you can look at them and recognize them as your own self and allow them to guide you to what you call greatness or whatever. This is literally yourself leading yourself. You know what I'm saying? And in the movies, when they talk about the quantum mechanics, quantum science, or whatever, and being able to travel different dimensions and all that, they're saying everything is happening all at once. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have the light, enough light to build up inside of yourself. You get what I'm saying? To be able to tap into all this. And I appreciate the likes, y'all. I appreciate the likes. Thank you. But so let's get in. So y'all familiar with the solar flares or cosmic, what do you call that? CMEs, coronal mass ejections. That's what a solar flare is. So when you see all of the videos and they're talking about solar flares or whatever, it's a coronal mass ejection. All that is an unk. Think about it like people are gatewaying out of here. We use stargates. As solar cosmic beings, we use stargates to travel interdimensionally. You know what I'm talking about? When you dreaming and you doing all that stuff, that is exactly what you're doing. Every time you dream, you are traveling interdimensionally. In the dream, I'm not talking about astral projection. Astral projection is a different form of astral projection. You know what I'm talking about? But the real thing is lucid dreaming. You want a lucid dream because in that realm, that's a more authentic realm than the realm that we are in right now. Now, everybody say this is a matrix or whatever, but you have a real realm that you can participate in, and that's your subconscious mind or the dream state. Okay? Now, what we're trying to do is we're raising up the light inside of us. And by doing this, because it's like a domino effect, because we are raising up spiritual awareness within ourselves here in this particular realm or whatever, in the galaxy, in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, there is a black hole. You can cross-reference your Kundalini energy rising up inside of you and the Kundalini energy rising up inside of the universe. Collectively, we have a hand in that. Dr. Mama, the solar flares is basically, what I just said, the coronal mass ejection. All that is basically like, you know what a gamma ray burst is, right? A gamma ray burst, when electromagnetic energy or plasma, whatever you want to call it, is bursting out of the sun at light speed, basically. And a long time ago, when I first heard about this, way before I was even aware of who I was again, I was scared of that, because it was like, if it happened, it'll just blow it up right away. But now I understand what our melanin does for us. You feel what I'm talking about? So, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting into today. So, the astro traveling, it helps you to participate in basically exercising your mind. When you astro traveling, all you experiencing all of these things, right? You're experiencing all of these things, going to all these different dimensions with all five senses. But your physical body never left this realm. A lot of people tell you to, when you like, if you have never experienced that, people will tell you to try to visualize. And if you have never visualized or whatever, they will tell you to imagine it. Imagine it. Use your imagination. So that's why I always say our imagination is what's really here, that we have to, raise up out of here. So anyways, by exercising your mind and one's own consciousness or whatever, you hold all of that inside of your particular memory. You know what I'm saying? You can bring it back to your Akashic and all that stuff or whatever, right? What I'm saying is the astral realm or the spirit realm, because astral and the spirit realm is the same thing. You have in the Orisha doctrine, you have the devas, and they exist on a deva shatic plane. That's the part of the astral plane, but that's still the spiritual plane. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you can do way more. Now, I want to read this little thing, this little, whatever you call it, a little link to melanin. It says melanin is a substance in the skin that produces skin pigmentation. Scientists have identified three forms of melanin in humans: eumelanin, pheomelanin, neuromelanin. Eumelanin and pheomelanin are in the epidermis, which is one of the layers of the skin. We know that. Okay, in contrast, neuromelanin is present in the brain, obviously, because it's neuromelanin. And if for those that did know that, that's what that means. When we talking about neuro or neurons or whatever, we're talking about cells inside of the brain. You know what I'm talking about? And not the pigment of your skin. You feel me? So melanocytes are the cells that produce eumelanin and pheomelanin, cells known as keratinocytes that carry melanin to the skin surface. And people with dark skin, melanocytes produce more melanin or eumelanin than they do in people with light skin tones. Okay? So what does it do? Melanin has a variety of biological functions: pigmentation of the hair, pigmentation of the skin, protection of the eyes from the and the skin from the sunlight or whatever. Now, basically what I'm getting at is, right, there's a difference. Now, we have solar flares. It's getting hot. It's really getting hot outside. We can be experiencing this, and we know what's going on. The reason why I'm making this video is because I wanna bring awareness to what's actually going on, and as far as us and our evolution, the ones that's producing this melanin. Society told you, oh, it's just melanin, it's just melanin. I have now told you it's three parts. It's three parts that make it up inside the man. You feel I'm talking about human or whatever. But in earlier I spoke about this. I want to say 1986 or 1989. There was a nuclear explosion in Ukraine, Chernobyl, Ukraine. Okay, and these scientists in 2016, so almost like what they say, 40 years later, they did studies on the eastern tree frog. The eastern tree frog had melanin inside the epidermis, and because of that, it was able to withstand the radioactive contamination. Okay, now understand, all of us on this planet have auras. You get what I'm saying? We all have auras. Your aura is your specific light, your own biochemical light, basically. But what that is on a quantum scale is bacteria. So think of it like your own nuclear contamination, basically. Okay? So these solar flares, this nuclear contamination that's coming from the sun or whatever, is heating the sun up, right? We're in the only reason that's happening is because we're able to absorb that. It's a real spiritual thing. It's scientific, but it's spiritual as well. If we wasn't able to absorb that, do you think the planet would be getting hot like this? We think the planet is getting hot because of the sun, but we forgot our connection that we had with the sun. In the ancient time, we had all types of different ceremonial rituals that we done to keep the sun doing what it was doing. And before I'm talking about before the sun that you see right now, we was dealing with the star Sirius. And the type of sun gazing that we were doing, we were projecting light onto that sun so we can then feed this planet, so we can then, you know what I'm saying, benefit off the life. Really, I did not know that but I can see our aura. Yeah, we spiritually we call them auras, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's really just our scientifically, it's just our bacteria. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I need some water. Where's the water when you need it? So we understand the functions of the black objects or whatever. I'm gonna read this. Black objects and white objects, as opposed to light and all of that. Black objects absorb all wavelengths of light and convert them into heat. So all the light that's coming down here right now, we convert that into heat. That particular temperature is basically the energy that we're utilizing to make our reality better, to leave here, to do whatever we want to do. Okay, so objects get warm. A white object reflects all wavelengths of light. So the light is not converted into heat and the temperature of the object does not increase noticeably. That does not mean it doesn't increase. It just doesn't increase noticeably. What we're doing, we're taking on a rapid change of evolution. That's what happened in Chernobyl. A few years ago, everybody was on Facebook talking about, oh, black people finna get superpowers. Black people finna get superpowers. And they was just saying it because subconsciously you was getting the messages or whatever, but you didn't really know. But this is what it is. And years ago, I was saying it was gonna get hot, it was gonna get hot, it was gonna get hot, it was gonna get hot. This is what I mean. What I'm saying is, right, our particular melanin can absorb UV radiation. You feel me? Pheomelanin cannot absorb that. I'm sorry. It says melanin. See, they mess you up by saying melanin, but we just sat here, and I'm reading from the same little link. We just sat here and read the difference between melanin or eumelanin and pheomelanin and whatever, right? But they're saying melanin is I'm gonna read everything. Melanin is a UV absorbent agent and is able to protect the skin against the effects of UV light on the skin surface. It also offers protection from UVB and blue light. Eumelanin protects the skin from UV light, whereas pheomelanin does not. Why would he just say that and then come back at the second thing and say that? Why? As a result, People with more pheomelanin, such as those with blonde or red hair and light skin, are more likely to experience sun damage. Now, if the sun is experiencing solar flares and you don't have this particular protection, it's not only protection, it absorbs and ionizes and stabilizing the free radical energy that's inside of it. Meaning, that's not only what it protects you from. You can convert that into messages from, let's say, your ancestors, the cosmos, the akashic, whatever you want to you know what I'm saying, get into, or whatever you are into. This is what we're actually doing. You know what I'm saying? So even if what I'm saying sounds like, oh man, I never heard of this or whatever, never heard of this, in some way, shape, or form, you are already doing it. This is why anybody that comes to you, that speaks to you like this, always tell you you already know everything. They just telling it to you in a different way because maybe you didn't understand it that way or whatever, and maybe that can open up your mind to something else or whatever. Okay? This particular light, we call it Amen, right? Amen. In the ancient Egyptian mythology, a god who rose or whose presence could be sensed in the temples when pennants attached to the flagstaffs in the front of the palace fluttered. Amen and his wife Amunet were part of a group of 8 primeval gods. Remember, primal means first. The primeval waters is noon. The 8 primal gods or primeval gods who were known as the Abadag. Can't even pronounce that. Of Hermopolis, right? Sometimes Amen and the sun god Ra, sometimes Amen and the sun god Ra were combined to form the composite god Amen Ra. So Amen means the invisible one. The invisible one, that's the heat that rises up or the heat that you feel off the sun. We can absorb that particular heat. We already absorbing it right now. See, people right now, before the solar flares, was already absorbed or getting what do you call that, melanoma and all that. What is melanoma? Melanin is in the word, but they told you it was cancer, right? So that's saying if you don't have this particular melanin, it wouldn't matter what you was, because we have something called albinos and we have albino recessive. So it's particular albino people that can create someone with my skin tone and darker, and there's some that can't at all. But they don't tell you about that. And who are they? They just like us. The only thing is they're not producing it. So, but what happens if if the solar flares come about? It's over. All of the ancient or the high ascended masters, they came before me and became before all of us, and it was like, hey, you got to have that light. The Moors told you, y'all not black, y'all white. Did you guys know that it was it's a legal term called free white persons, and that applied to all of us, all people of color, right? It had nothing to do with your skin tone. Spiritually, it has something to do with the light that you absorb. Like what I just said about the black objects. Everything that's black absorbs all the light. It means you cannot see it. You feel me? And what do I mean by all of the light? Like all of the colors or whatever. You feel what I'm talking about? Think about your chakras in the rainbow. That's where the rainbow comes from. And think about the light spectrum. You feel what I'm saying? Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, red, orange. Your chakras. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, indigo. You got to be able to have all of the functions to function in this reality we call a matrix. Regardless if it's fake or not, you still have to have what it takes to be able to withstand what's going on. And me or nobody else created that or made it that way or nothing. I'm just saying. This is like shit you can look up on the internet, man. This ain't nothing like nothing spectacular or none of that. You feel what I'm saying? The crazy thing to me is this. You will have individuals that will ask questions like, well, how come y'all just saying this? How come y'all just saying that? How come it's only us talking about this? Your doctor said you physical. Stop playing. You know your doctor be lying to you. Look, just hear me out, right? Just hear me out. When I ask you, who are you? I'm not talking about the individual that's sitting right there in front of this camera. I'm talking about the individual that feels a certain type of way when things don't go right. An individual that when you see the world a different way and everybody is going the opposite way of how you see it. And I'm not telling you everybody has to think your way, but we all collectively, because you're here right now, we all collectively can see that there's something going on. I'm talking about the individual that feels that. I'm not talking about the individual that'll get up and go to work. You want to laugh, you eat, you shit, you do all that. No, I'm talking about the real you, your soul. The doctors, they can't see that. It's hidden. You feel me? But the ancient doctors, right, which is like the ancient Egyptians and all that, they utilize the spirits to tap into that and do surgeries. Ah, the ancient Egyptians, they utilized the alcohol, the spirits. Just like psychedelics, it puts you in a state that could allow certain spirits that they invoke to combine with your spirit and heal you. We die and rot like tomatoes or any other thing. That's absolutely right. The physical body dies off, just like every other seed or every other thing that lives or dies, right? But and this has been documented. The same little doctors, they know this. When the body or when you transcend or whatever, your body becomes lighter. And that's due to the primary elements of what you actually are. The carbon, the hydrogen, the nitrogen, the oxygen, all of that, right? And that's connected to your source, your soul, or your consciousness. You get what I'm saying? In the ancients, they said that you can will yourself to certain locations inside the universe to gateway out of here. Because if you are a soul, there is no leaving. In movies, they tell you where they show you that you can just float outside your body and it just is what it is. But it's an electromagnetic sphere. But sooner or later, we won't have to deal with that because of what's going on right now with the solar flares. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They don't acknowledge the spirit of the soul. They don't, you know what I'm talking about? But what they do is, right, they don't acknowledge it and they don't tell you to your face. But they do acknowledge it though, and they do know about it because for the simple fact that the doctor that they take what is his name? They take a Hippocrates. So Hippocrates is not the father of medicine. The father of medicine is Imhotep. Imhotep lived, I want to say, 100 or 1,000 years before Hippocrates. Imhotep was responsible for, what's his name? King Dozier, Pharaoh Dozier. In the third dynasty, he was responsible for the step pyramid in Egypt, right? And not only was he that, he was a vizier, so he was like an advisor and all that stuff or whatever. He was an architect. He was a mathematician. He also was a healer because they found 48 different like ailments and 48 different ways of healing it way before they even heard about this guy. But the thing is, the god that he was on, because after he passed on, he was venerated. So they looked at him as one of the gods or whatever. But the type of god that he aligned himself with was Hermes. And if you look on every hospital, they have the staff of Caduceus or Thoth or Hermes. You feel me? With the staff and the snakes going up in the wings. That's on every hospital. So they do acknowledge it. But you know what I'm saying? They can't tell you because it's your symbols. They can't tell you your symbols because if they tell you your symbols, you will know how to utilize it like what we're doing right now. But this is basically kind of sort of what this I guess what this lecture, what this video is about. If and then when I ask you who you are, how do you define yourself? Some of us do not define ourselves as souls. Some of us define ourselves as physical bodies, human beings, or whatever, right? But the question was, how do you define yourself? You know, it's not about what somebody else thinks about you. It's about what you think about yourself. Because know this, even though that individual just said that we live, we die, we rot, that's what the body does. I don't think he was here when I was talking about dreaming, right? You dream, you feel me? And you go somewhere else, but your body never leaves here. So when you pass on, it'll be the same thing. But the difference is with that, because you know, when you anybody that's astral projected, you have an ethical cord or a golden cord or a silver cord or whatever you want to call it. What that says is I own this body. That's why you can't get possessed. You being who you are, you definitely can't be possessed. So nothing can enter your body, and you always get back to it. You never get lost. You never get cut off. You can cut it off because it's, you know what I'm saying. It's choices. You know, free will. But you know who's gonna do that? The thing is, when that happens, though, when that happens, it cuts you off from the physical world, meaning you can't have a physical experience no more. And however you define yourself, that plays a big part in that aspect of life. That's what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Because Dr. Mama, you know, talking to your spirits and doing all that, some spirits would be like, man, it's cold, it's dark. What did you believe in? You know? Some individuals didn't believe. Some people go through a life of hell and an afterlife of hell as well. That's what I'm trying to get at here. So for those of us that understand that we're going through that, right? The Buddhists, they call it samsara, the cycle of suffering. We want to stop that. We realize we done been through so many different lifetimes or whatever, but we want to stop that and we want to raise to the higher level. You know what I'm saying? Most of us misunderstand the spirit realm. We're not going to the spirit realm. We're going to a quantum reality. How do I know? First and foremost, I've been there. Second, right, they show you in the movies already. They show you in the movies. Why is all of the movies talking about quantum mechanics and quantum science? Quantum realities, quantum mania, the quantum verse. And once in that, you can go back and look at every other movie that they showed you your entire life, depending on how old you are, but your entire life, like, damn, they've been talking about this the entire time because this is what it was about this entire time. You have the spirit realm, which is a micro realm or whatever, but then you have sub realms too. You have primary elements, which are little particles, and then you have sub particles. So those are the particles, like the building blocks on the particles of life right now. What I had just named before. And there's more, but I'm just talking about as far as what makes up you. Depends on where their consciousness was when their body was dying. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And this is why I say I agree. Because when I was I had went through ego death. When I went through ego death, where I was in my consciousness, I was right there. And it's so like you really like you can't really explain it like that. But it was like everything that you would think of to be a hell, it just that's how the reality was playing out for me. You feel what I'm saying? That's how it was playing out for me. And then coming out of that, I understood what was going on, how I was gonna get through this. You know what I'm talking about? How I was gonna like raise myself up out of that perception of life, basically. Because I was in you wouldn't even know it. See, because you can't take things off face value. When I was out here spitting all types of knowledge or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? That really made me understand I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything at all. So when people be coming and just be talking and just saying anything, I don't mind that because I'm not just getting up here just saying anything. I really sat back and analyzed this stuff. And by analyze it, I don't mean, I guess, the normal way of analyzing it. I sat here and I lived it. And hey, so I guess some people don't have to do that. But this is what I got to do. I've been at it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? My dude 360 in here, man. You know, 360 really brought that shit to light as far as neuromelanin. I'm going to tell you this. I'm pro us all the way. You feel me? I'm pro us all the way. Now, but 360 was reading his book, and hey, man, drop the name of the book because I don't know the name. He was reading his book, man. It was talking about neuromelanin and how everybody has it. I know people ain't gonna like that. I don't care. But knowledge is knowledge, and the facts is facts. So if everybody has neuromelanin, what does that mean? You got to be able to move that around and utilize that. Okay, so this makes sense as to why certain individuals can do certain things and deal in certain things. Okay, cool, right? But when it's all said and done, right? Because you know how we all talk about, nigga, we got to be in nature. We got to do all this. You have to have that light on you. You already, you know what you are when it absorbs all of the colors, all of the light in the spectrum and whatever, you know what it looks like. So any other light that comes to this planet, you absorb it. You got to be able to do that because those are particular light codes that's coming to you that can unlock what's inside of you. If you can't, then it's a done deal. You know what I'm saying? Truth, what she say? Truth contributes to our freedom. Our freedom. 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 The truth that's coming into your mind to free your what? Your dome. Your mind. We're not talking about a physical reality here. We're talking about a quantum reality. This quantum reality, anybody and everybody that's, I know y'all have seen it, it's been out already. Anybody that's seen Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania, this is what I've been talking about. So now I can just always bring this up so everybody can have a good ass reference. They didn't put it because they put everything in the movies. But this is what it is. You getting so small, you going so small that you going into another realm, another dimension that is so little. It's so little that it's not the spirit realm or the astral plane, whatever you want to call it. It's the quantum. It's the duat. It's the alchemist always says this because it's a book. It's the circles outside, the circles out of time. Circles outside of time, I don't know, but that's what it is. None of that, or what you call the laws of nature, any of that applies there. Any of that. And you get to experience a piece of that in your dreams. It sounds funny, right? It sounds funny, but when we understand delta, gamma, and all of these different brain waves, right? The states of being in mind or whatever, and consciousness or whatever, and meditation, you will get it. You got to put yourself under certain hypnosis, you know what I'm saying? To convince yourself whatever you feel like is real. Maybe you feel like you're a human being and you walk around here and reality is reality. I'm going to tell you this right now. As a conscious individual, I wish I can go back to doing that. I wish. I wish I could. Because regardless if you feel like it's real or not, I'm actually going through an evolutionary experience with myself and my being. You get me? So let's say it wasn't and I'm just going crazy, right? You feel me? I'm experiencing past life regressions, right? I'm healing myself or what I feel like is myself. I'm healing my ancestors or what I feel like my ancestors. And what I mean by my ancestors, I'm not just talking about my physical ones. I'm talking about the cosmic ones and all the ones that we forgot about. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going through this and I'm meditating and I'm healing myself because I'm eating better. I'm thinking better. See, I used to be an angry person and I still get mad because I still have a human experience, but it's not like it used to be because it was too much. And as an individual of truth, I can say that it was too much for me. You know what I'm talking about? Anxiety, all that. I don't want to deal with that. So this is what I do to get better. So let's say it was fake. And we just all crazy or whatever. It's making me better. It's making me better, right? But you will have individuals that will put certain things down your throat or tell you that what you're doing is not right, regardless of what it is, if it's working for you or not. And whatever they're doing may not be working. That's called projection, right? And we all succumb to projection, regardless. You feel what I'm saying? You can pick it up off a mate, off a sibling, a parent, friend, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we start to do these things. Start projecting inwardly. You know what I'm saying? The best thing you can ever do is learn and study the human anatomy and its functions. If you can understand the human anatomy because you have it, you can understand what's going on in the cosmos, anything that ever happens. Even though that nature is unique, what does that mean? That means it's chaotic. It's not going to always happen the same. That's what we deal with. That's the divine order of things. You was crazy if you felt like that everything has to be in order. No, everything is not in order, but everything will always work out. That's the divine aspect of it. You know what I'm talking about? And when you come out of that, what did you learn from that? It's selfish and it's egotistical to feel like things would just happen like this, like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that. That's focusing on the small things. If you're gonna focus on the small things, you focus on the little good things that happen. The little good things that happen. You too busy focusing on small things. That's bullshit that happened in your life. That you overlook the great things that's actually happened. That eventually accumulate to something bigger. You know what I'm saying? That you can overlook as well. Like what's going on right now. These solar flares is causing the planet to get hot. And heat is not a bad thing. Because you have a soul. It's an everlasting flame. Heat is the energy that's rising up. It's the kundalini that's rising up. 2 years ago, I was saying this. I don't know if they was listening. I wasn't on TikTok, so it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? The kundalini is rising up. If the kundalini is rising up and it goes all the way to the top, to this highest point, what do you think is going to happen here? We're not going to stay here. That wasn't the plan. The plan is to learn. And we didn't have billions of years. See, science tell you didn't been here for 13 point whatever billion. You've been here for at least 100 plus trillion years. Here in this location. Not Earth, here in this location. This done been many things. And it still exists inside of us. That's why you're able to experience it and visit in the dreams and all that stuff. And you experience certain spouts of it because we didn't had civilizations based upon what we done in the primal worlds. But we still focused on that. That still solidifies you as a human. You get what I'm saying? That's not what we're doing here. Because you're not a human. I don't want to say you're a god. You greater than that. Earlier I told y'all the gods, what you would call the gods. It don't matter what name you want to put on them. Olympians, Orishas, Anunnaki, what is that? Neteru, gods, angels, demons, all of these are the same things. The same aspects. They're just different. It's just in different regions. They're the same aspects. You don't believe me? Cross-reference every single one of them. Every single one of them. Put them next to them. Put them next to their mate. And internet's so good now, it'll do it for you. So when you understand that, where are you at? We don't never talk about the titans or the primordial beings. We just know about a primordial world. Or do we even know about the primordial world? Or in the beginning, it was darkness. That's the primordial world. Do we just feel like we were just sitting in darkness? No. It was the uncreated potential of everything. So that means we was doing everything. Just accumulating nothing but knowledge, light, wisdom, love, all of that. It really get deep. You got to study Gnosticism, but that's not what this lecture is about. But we done that though. We done that, and they talk about a fall. That fall is a frequency fall. What do I mean by a frequency fall? When things fall in frequency, they become solid. They become dense. Matter comes into play now. You feel what I'm saying? Now you got a physical body. But what about the light that still exists inside of you? Light can come here and it can get trapped here. That happens all the time. It's happening right now. The sun is out, and the light or the plants, the vegetation, is picking that up right now. The ultraviolet radiation. That's what photosynthesis is, and the what all of that shit with the motherfucking plants. Now, or chlorophyll. Now, because of that, right? What about your light? Because everything has some form of light. That's what the spirit shit is. When we talking about spirit, the astro, you have a light body or a spirit body. That's what they talking about. So everything has a spirit. When you go to the astral plane, you can see different plants and all of that stuff or whatever. So that means these physical things are some form of a prison. So the physical ain't even real. The astro is more real than this, but it's not more authentic than the quantum realm. The quantum realm is what you do whatever you want to do. It's after ain't no more of this after that, is what I'm getting at. You feel what I'm saying? And people scared of that. People never heard that before, so they run away from it. You know? No, they don't want to do that. They want to build a pyramid. It's 2,000 pyramids over here in America. That gives you something to think about. It's 2,000 over here. And when you think about a pyramid, you think about Egypt. But it's 2,000 over here. That's more than Egypt. If in case you didn't know that. So anyways, we fell down here, or we came here. Either way, wherever you want to put it. And earlier, I was telling us that there's a part of us that was trapped here. I say it's the imagination. Why do I say that? Do we know how powerful our imagination is? Your imagination is, if you do not know how to visualize or go and lucid dream and what's that other word? Astral project. If you don't know how to do all that or whatever, your best way to do it and your best bet is your imagination. You are able to sit down, right? Quiet your mind, all the chatter. What is chatter? All those thoughts that's running through your head, the shit that's saying, hey, you got to scratch, and you actually feel it, but it's mind over matter. You know what I'm talking about? Because what you're doing is taking your awareness outside of this reality and placing it into a new reality. But what we're talking about right now in this particular time is you doing something completely different. Well, it's not really different, but you're doing like a reality that doesn't exist. So you're creating your own reality. You're able to do that. Not only are you able to travel to and through, you're able to create your own. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we understand how powerful that really is. When you was a child, you was daydreaming, or you was just imagining things. You know, because some people could just close their eyes. My stepdad could do that. Some people could just close their eyes and just see everything that they think about. You can experience that, taste, touch, feel. You know what I'm talking about? All five senses. That's powerful. You're bringing that awareness, everything you learn, because that's what we've been doing. So you're bringing that awareness, you know what I'm talking about, and everything else back to your Akasha. You have the Akashic records, and then everybody has their own particular Akasha. Um, what do you think about quantum entanglement? You know, beings can communicate without devices. Yes, yes. Listen, quantum entanglement. That's because we all connected, right? We all connected by this quantum web. Now, if you do like everything I'm not just saying, oh, you gotta do everything I'm saying if you raise the light, let's just say that you raise your frequency up, you're able to tap into that. You get what I'm talking about? Now, me personally, what I personally think about that what I just said as far as raising yourself up, but I think it works better based upon your connection. You know what I'm saying? Because like you just said, people can use, or beings can use, or can communicate without devices or whatever. let's look at the ones with the devices. With the devices, I gotta have your number. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have your number, or I have to be probably on your frequency, maybe to be able to pick up your energy or to send you energy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know. That's what I think though. Peace and love. Peace, peace, peace. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. I don't know though, Dr. Mama. I feel like I feel like we all connected. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I gotta know you or be aware of you. You know what I'm talking about, to be able to send these different messages out. Not saying that it can't happen, but it's like, how could I affect an individual that I don't know? You know what I'm talking about? So I think we have to look further into that or whatever. But I think quantum entanglement is a real thing, and I think we communicate because me and my queen, we always communicating, and my sisters. Before I'm talking about before I became really spiritual like this or whatever. When I was a kid, I was locked up. Yep. And every time I call my grandma, me and my grandma used to be really tight. Every time I call her my nana. So I ain't finna say grandma like I just do that. Every time I call my nana, every time I call my nana, we she always be going through something. She'd be like, man, it's like I called you through telepathy, or we was telepathically speaking to each other. She always said that, and I always overlooked it. But every time I call her, because I feel like, man, let me call my nana. Every time I call her, she always just be getting out the hospital or going to the hospital, in the hospital, whatever, because she was real sickly, and she is real sickly. But you know what I'm saying? It's like every time, because I wouldn't call her like every single day. You know, I was booked. But you know, when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old, I used to call her every single day. She was like, when you get older, you're not gonna call me no more. That was my best friend. We don't even, you know what I'm saying? We didn't get down like that. Uh, like mama knows what's going on with that. Yeah. No, for real, for real. And that right there, that's something else I used to overlook. Because me and my mom used to get into it. And I used to feel like she was running my life or trying to run my life. You get what I'm saying? But when I understood, damn, my mom, her ass know everything. No, she don't know everything. Like, 'cause sometimes it might not be that. But I understand now, in serious moments, I take heed to what she say. No, son, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want the band. Ooh, okay, bet. I feel what she's saying now. Because back then I was just young and wild. But now I get it. You know what I'm talking about? That great mother, yeah, for sure, for sure. And you got a real big connection. But yeah. So I'm not saying, back to the melanin. I'm not saying that, oh, you gotta have it, but you gotta have it. And don't let society tell you melanin. It's a difference between melanin and melanin. We have melanin, eumelanin, and we have theomelanin as far as humans go. You get what I'm talking about? And everybody has neuromelanin, okay? But if spirituality is based upon the mind, science is based upon the mind, it's mind over matter, right? It's the neurons, it's the neuromelanin that you're increasing and utilizing inside the brain. And I feel like in order to do that, you have to be able to absorb light from the sun. You have to be able to absorb light from the sun. And what's that word? Ionize it, stabilize it, regulate it so you can utilize it. And under any circumstances, if and when, because it's happening right now, if and when we don't have an electromagnetic sphere, all that's going to happen is we're going to get darker. There's going to be a lot of cosmic radiation going on. We're going to get darker. We might get taller. You never know. You know what I'm talking about? But right now it's preparing. You know what I'm talking about? And it's the only thing we got to do is mentally prepare. You feel what I'm saying? So, spiritually, when we tapping into all of these different, what's that word? These different spirits and these different gods and goddesses and whatever, all these different extraterrestrials or whatever, that's what they are. They're different cosmic rays, viruses, and all of that stuff that you infect yourself with and raise your being up. In the movies, that's what they show you. You eat stuff, you infect yourself with something or whatever, and then you become that. That's what's happening to us. And I just told you we've been here for 100 plus billion. It wouldn't matter if it was 13. It just, if you really knew the evolution process in our being for real, and how long, not how long we've been here, but where we at right now in spirituality. If you can see where we at right now in spirituality, you'll understand we've been here way longer than what they said. You'll understand we done been here way longer. That's the thing, right? It may take some time for you to see that drastic, what do you call that, happening or whatever. It may not. It all depends on us for real. The thing is, they know already. We have individuals that come out and say, man, they trying to take this, they trying to take that, they trying to do this. Let me show you something. Earlier, I talked about the recessive genes. The recessive genes come out of you, the cosmic great mother. The only thing closest to the cosmic great mother is her son, the black man. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the only thing closest to the black woman. Now, what do I mean by that? If these genes come up out of them or come up out of her, you feel what I'm saying? That's a reflection of you. It may not be the reflection that you like, but it's a reflection of you. And you can see inside of our individual, like inside of our people all over the motherfucking world or whatever, we tend to not like those recessive genes. You feel I'm talking about that pop up? Either it was in the family or either it was other individuals or whatever. They doing it all in Africa right now. What I'm saying is, right, we've had self-hate over this time. These 100+ billion years we've been here. We had a strong amount of self-hate. And this strong amount of self-hate manifested itself outside of us. And now we got to deal with it. The thing is, right, we have, if you look up mythology or whatever, we've taught civilization, you see what I'm saying? But you understand that polarity is this right here. One side of the pole and the other side of the pole, they're always going to be fighting for dominance. You know what I'm saying? So even if we being peaceful and we doing all this, it's always going to be that regardless of who's on top or not. You feel what I'm saying? And that's another thing in the law, in the Hermetic laws. That's the law of rhythm. You feel what I'm saying? If you go this way, it's going to always come back that way. So that what I'm saying is going to always happen, is what I'm saying. Now that it has happened, it's going to always happen. And remember, we come from the uncreated potential of everything. This is just creation. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't nothing new happening under the sun. Earlier, Dr. Mama just said we can communicate without devices. That's quantum entanglement. But you have cell phones, you have the internet and all the other stuff. You have something mimicking your natural devices, your natural functioning. You know what I'm saying? So, I gotta get some water. With all of that being said, right? That self-hate that manifested outside of us has to go through a spiritual rites of passage. You feel what I'm saying? We've been here for a minute, like I just said. They've been here for about 6,000 years. It sounds like it's long, don't it? But it's not. Because within this 6,000 years, history was tampered with. And because history was tampered with, you're not able to look back on true history, her story. That's what 360 be saying. On her story. You know what I'm saying? If everybody got $1 in their pocket right now, everybody got $1 in their pocket. When you look at the back of your dollar and that little word on under the pyramid, it's a Latin word for New World Order. All of the movies are showing you that they're trying to take the world over, and it's a New World Order. That's what it would be, a New World Order, right? We are already in a New World Order. The old world order was what? The cosmic great mother, not the patriarchal society. Everything that you see is patriarchal. Even the feminine movement, that's patriarchal, because it's patriarchal to want to war against the man. You know what I'm saying? The feminine movement is not I'm feminine. The feminine movement is I can be just like a man. And that would what does that cause? That cause men to subconsciously do what? Because it's not a movement, but it is, because ain't nobody out talking about it, but you already know what's going on. Okay. Now, The thing, and they utilize all of it. They utilize all of that as tactics. It's like COINTELPRO. They utilize all of that. The thing is because they got to go through this rites of passage, right? We don't. Us being here and taking back, let's say, our imagination and leaving with it, that's the only thing that we was doing to begin with. Now, we fell in love. Yeah. You can say we fell in love because we created monuments. Or why do you think we really created monuments? It's almost like an individual that will get on TikTok right now and say, you guys, I got to download in the near future, this is that and this and that is going to happen or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? If it's good, you will like it, but if it's bad, you ain't going to hear that. That motherfucker sound crazy. That's what you're going to say. We had the ability, we still do, but back then it was more potent and more active. We had the ability to foresee, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of years ago, all up until now. So we saw what was going on now. That's the reason why we built monuments all over. It's not the main reason, but that's the reason why. You think we wouldn't just, we make them and we could utilize it for something, but we made them because we knew what was going on. In the monumental phase of Egypt, they were declining. This is around the time when the ones that go through the rites of passage now were created. About 5,000 years ago, really 6,000 now. You feel what I'm saying? And they documented that in Egypt. This is where we get the Rosetta Stones from Francis Chapolin. He decoded that and he understood what was going on. And it goes deeper. It goes deeper. It ain't even just like that. But that's a little taste of that. Divine matriarchy is what? What? Tell him again. Tell him again. The matriarchy, right? The divine cosmic mother, the great mother. You know what I'm saying? We say it's the great mother because everything about a woman represents this entity. So it is a feminine energy, right? But the divine cosmic mother, the great mother or whatever, it has two parts to it, yes. But there really isn't a masculinity at all, to be honest. It isn't. Why do I say that? Because all masculinity is, or the masculine principle is, it's not the masculine principle, it's just the masculine half of what the divine feminine is. Now, you might look at that like, oh, that's just the same thing. No, because when we say divine masculine, divine feminine, we separate it, male and female. There's no such thing. It's androgyny. You have a pineal gland and a pituitary gland. That's what gives it off right there. If just only the males had pituitary, or not pituitary, pineal glands, and the females had pituitary glands, which is the pineal gland is the phallus, and the pituitary gland is the yoni. If only it was like that, like how I'm a male, so I only got a penis, and females only got the vagina. No, you got both inside the mind, and where do your magic start? It starts in the mind. So, and that's where it starts at. Only when we get here, you get polarity, you get duality, you get separation. That's the thing. You feel me? Because before we even had a concept of a masculine principle, we just had the great mother. And that existed there because it was the uncreated potential of everything. So it still existed there in a way, but not in a way how it exists now to be able to take over. To go further, being a male that lived back in the day, it was really hard to live back in the day as a male because we had to go through a rites of passage to live. You know how when a child is born, a male boy is born or whatever, y'all get him circumcised. In actuality, the reason why it's a physical reason, it's a spiritual reason. The physical reason is not that religious shit, or whatever, you gotta be circumcised or whatever so you can be holy. No. That circumcision was due to your pineal gland. When your pineal gland was not calcified, so when it was decalcified or whatever, it resembled a circumcised phallus. You get what I'm saying? But physically, right, the foreskin will continue to grow, and basically you would be a woman. You know how people be saying, well, males, they can't produce milk. They definitely can. Still, it wouldn't even matter. They definitely can for sure. So all you would do is just turn to a woman. So what I'm saying is, back in the day, we had to fight to be a man. And you can see and understand, have a little bit of understanding for those that still deep into their patriarchal minds, why they wanted to live so much and why they did what they did. I just heard your Bobby Hemmings video where he was yes, and it ain't just him. It ain't just Bobby. It ain't just Bobby. But yeah, that's what's really going on. You know what I'm talking about? We as cosmic beings, y'all know what I mean when I say cosmic beings. We as cosmic beings, we got something totally different going on here. We worry about something else. They worry about this. We need to be worried about what you doing. See, we collectively have something that we're doing together, right? And then individually, we have something that we're doing too. Because why did you come here? You know what I'm saying? I got people I resonate with that say they come from this region of the cosmos, come from that region, come from that region, and going into it, right? You will be like, man, it's confusing because we all supposed to be this. We not because we come from the what? The uncreated potential of everything. That means whatever you was doing in the duat or in the uncreated potential of everything, it manifests in your forms of consciousness here. You feel what I'm saying? Because everything that's happening there trickles down. So if it trickles down and you are a link to it, you know what I'm talking about? That's all that means. And it's so many different systems. There's so many different mythologies and so many different understandings or whatever that people are connected to, and it's so many different things that need to be brought out as well, as far as going within and creating something new. That's the true definition of thought. We think that when we're thinking every day, we're just thinking. No, thought is when you go inside yourself, when you go inside your mind, and you bring something out that has never existed before. When I tell you, hey man, this right here, you be like, nah, nigga, you crazy. Let's say this. I got a device where you can look at a TV. I got a TV. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a TV, and you can look at pictures and they move or whatever. If you would have told somebody back in the ancients or whatever, which I feel like they had something like that, but let's just say, if you would told somebody back in the day, the ancients, like I got this, they would have been like, you crazy. But you go inside of yourself to be able to figure out how to create this device, and you create it. That's actual. You actually manifested that. That's true thought. That's the true definition of thought. You know what I'm saying? When you meditate and and your mind just running through, when you got chatter all day or whatever, like not all day, but you got chatter in your mind when you meditating, like I was saying earlier or whatever, that's not thought. That's what you do on a day-to-day basis. That's why I say you gotta make your thoughts lighter or think positive thinking or whatever, because or watch your thoughts. Because on a day-to-day basis, you thinking about a billions of things and your thought travels faster than light. So you could be thinking about trillions of things at a time. It travels 24 billion miles per second. So if you're not calculating what you're actually thinking about and what you want and holding in on what you really want or whatever you actually thinking about the most will manifest inside of your dreams. And you start to align your world, your waking world with that. And that's not what you want to do. You want to align what you want to align with it. Not I went to sleep and I had a dream that my mom had a dog head because I was thinking about my dog and my mom was talking to me, and it just manifested like that because your subconscious mind is trying to answer every question that you have. Every question that you have, every question that you ask, you think about, or whatever, your subconscious mind is trying to answer that. It can't answer it really through the waking world because you have the ego that will block it out, filter it. The ego will never allow anything to get to your conscious mind, your waking world, that will not allow it to do its thing. Most individuals identify with their ego. What is their ego? Your ego feels like it's real. It's a human. The ego is kind of like your melanin, but in a negative way because it protects you, but it overprotects you. You know what I'm saying? So when you're a child, you don't have an ego when you're a kid. You know, I'm gonna touch that fire because that shit got some color on it. and it's flickering. You know what I'm saying? And then when you feel that heat, that's when it comes in. That pain from that, like, oh, no, I'm not touching that no more. You know what I'm saying? But when you a kid and you steady playing and you get that first whipping, I don't have to do that no more. That ego starts accumulating that data, and you know how to do it. And if you want to do it and continue to do things like that, you figure out a way how to, you know what I'm saying, how to do it or whatever. But it eventually accumulates that. Now, the way you protect yourself, right? You have different personalities, different characteristics. I'm not trying to call you crazy, but we all are, period, regardless if we're conscious or not. So you have different personalities. You are not the same individual when you leave the house. You feel me? When you go to work, you're not the same individual. And most of us, if you do it, I am not talking down on you. You know what I'm saying? Because some of us just have to do it. Now, I won't do it, but some of us have to do it. Yeah, I'm probably may straighten up a little bit. I don't know, but all the way, no. But I know some of us do, and that's not a good or a bad thing. You just got to do what you got to do. But some of us, we get into these jobs, and we just perk up. Hey, how you doing? And, ooh, ooh. I don't even know how to talk like that. You know what I'm saying? I talk how I talk. I talk ghetto as hell when I go inside the what do you call it? My interviews. If I talk proper right now or whatever, I don't know. I'm probably just doing that for y'all. I respect y'all. But in the interviews, I'm ghetto as fuck in my interviews. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just cussing, but I'm ghetto. I'm regular. I'm normal. How I am, basically. And that's what it's about. You gotta be yourself. Some individuals are protecting a certain ego that they acquired over the life that they've been living. And even if you was conscious, we pick that up. We got different guys that we put on and we mask or whatever. That's how you utilize it to make yourself better. But remember, it is not you. You know what I'm talking about? What it's an aspect of you. And you can utilize the energy to further perfect the form that you actually are. And that's what you actually doing. You don't want to sit there and make this your God or make that your God or you worship this or anything like that. And what do I mean by that? Because I be throwing that around, right? I'm not saying you getting down on your knees worshiping it. You know what I'm saying? Because people worship money every day, and I know for a fact you are not sitting down in front of a candle with some money on the table or whatever, on your knees, bow down. I know you're not doing that. But it's what you would do for that money. What would people do for anything? And what is that doing for you? That's the thing. Money does not bring happiness. I know that. It can give you things, right? Money is currency and energy, and that's what it needs to be utilized as. So I'm not saying you cannot use it. I'm saying you don't let it run your life. That's not even the topic. You know, certain individuals, let's say, they turn away from the Christian God and go to a black God, an African God, or whatever. That's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The African way of thinking prior to patriarchal Christianity, which was brought out not by, you ready for this? Not by the individuals that was what's that word, that need to go through the rites of passage. We created that for sure. But we're gonna have that lecture. We're gonna have that lecture another day. But either way I go, we created that. They're what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Prior to the patriarchal society in Africa, we had a certain ancient way of thinking. A certain ancient way of thinking that was more aligned with what I'm talking about here. It might not be the exact verbiage, but it's what we was doing back in the day. You know, we manifested things, we done things with our mind. The patriarchal Hebrew Israelites will tell you, man, we were slaves and we built the pyramids. And yes, if you look up their what you call it, their in they doctrine, it might say that. But if you go back and look up the Egyptian doctrine, they would tell you they did it with their minds. And I ask you, which one is right? Which one is wrong? I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong. But if individuals who came or who was representing a system that is younger than this system, and they said that these particular people that comes from this system older system, enslaved them, whatever. They they the other ones, right? The Africans, the Egyptians, or whatever. They said they built it. They said otherwise. When you look up their shit, they said they did it with the mines. Also, the common people, because it was common people that was helping. The common people were, what's that word? They were buried near or in the tomb. A common individual is not going to be buried near in the tomb. A slave person, right? This is what the Egyptians said. They not a slave person, a common person. The Egyptians said a common person was doing all of that. The Hebrew Israelites said they were slaves. They're not gonna bury no slave inside of no tomb. Not no holy tomb, not no Egyptian tomb. They haven't found it. They haven't found it. So that's all I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? And I know I be stuttering. I got a speech impediment, I think. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I'm getting the knowledge out. But what I was gonna say, y'all, I'm finna keep doing these videos. I don't know how many videos I want to do like this, but I'm definitely keep doing these videos or whatever. I got some books. If y'all need some books, y'all just holler at me. You feel me? But we gotta get to the bottom of this. I gotta put this out into the ethers. I saw a video. Y'all probably seen it because everything be floating around. I saw this video. They was talking about if you say something like so many times or whatever, certain things happen or whatever. As far as manifestation and put it out into the universe, then they come back and echo into you or whatever in the physical reality or whatever. So basically, that's what I'm trying to do because I feel like it's so much information being brought out right now in this age, whatever you call it, the age of Aquarius and all that stuff. But we got to realize who and what we are. You know what I'm saying? Are you a physical being that can just, when you pass on, whatever, it just is what it is? Or are you a non-physical being that can tap into these hidden aspects to reality, or the light spectrum, or the spirits, the gods, the goddesses, or whatever, you feel what I'm talking about? Can you do all that? If you're capable of doing all that, you feel what I'm talking about, then it's for you. You feel me? If not, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying you're gonna have a hard time because we're running out of time. Now, see, back then I probably wouldn't have said it. I was saying it, but back then I really didn't feel it. See, what's that word? I'm guilty of that. But now it's getting hot. See, I was telling y'all it's gonna get hot, and it really wasn't hot like that. But I was saying it's gonna get hot. Now it's hot as hell all over. Y'all see what's going on right now. You feel me? Now, what do I mean? Energy is just rising. When the heat rises, it gets hot. Or when the energy rises, everything gets hot. You feel what I'm saying? When I be listening to my little voodoo music and I be in my trance and I be dancing, when I go outside, steam come off me. You feel what I'm saying? I'm dancing to Shango, right? Dancing. I don't even dance, but I'm dancing though, you know what I'm saying? I got my own little dance. I done figured out when I be going into my little trances or whatever, I've been doing this dance for millennia. Now, as I'm doing it, I'm like, damn, I gotta get some air. You feel me? I go outside. I'm like, who's smoking? Cause I'm seeing some smoke, but I don't smell none. But I'm seeing some smoke. My queen like steam coming off you. I'm whoa. Now, I didn't know that was possible. Probably was, but I ain't never seen that happen to me. You get what I'm saying? So I understood I was raising up the energy. And, like, when I was, because that was a little time, I was dealing with that for, like, about 2-3 weeks away, maybe a month or something. I was doing something personal. I ain't even going to tell you. But doing that, I could feel the energy change inside the room. You know what I'm talking about? It was not always hot like that because, I had the air conditioner in there. But ain't nobody got no air conditioner in the world. You know what I'm talking about? Like, ain't no air conditioners outside. You got ice, you know what I'm saying? But this is summertime. This is the summertime. And let me tell you this. This the funny thing. Okay. So when it's hot outside, like the summertime, the summer solstice, you do realize the the sun is not that close for real, for real. The sun is closer during the winter solstice. You feel what I'm saying? So it's our job to keep the energy up during that time. You feel what I'm saying? It's hot right now because of Sirius, the rising of Sirius. You feel what I'm saying? And our connection with that as well. But so by saying Sirius, I'm saying us. We're the ones that's making it hot like that. It's not hot because of the sun. It's hot because of we calling out. You feel what I'm talking about? We calling out to what's coming out here right now. The heat, you can reference the heat as the different spirits, the different gods, different goddesses. Bobby Hemmett, everybody that watched Bobby Hemmett always talked about how it wasn't physical, right? But this is where I'm going to disagree with Big Bobby. Bobby said it wasn't physical, right? He said it was spiritual. That was the only thing that brother Bobby was paying attention to, and I love him for that because of him paying attention to that, we was able to get this. So all of them different spirits he was talking about when you was tapping into that, that's these different spirits in the quantum realm. When he was talking about going to the darkness and all that, that darkness is that hidden light that we feel off the sun. He did say he was gonna get hot and burn some shit up later on. You feel me talking about in the day. But he also said that it wasn't no physical ships. I for sure know y'all done seen these lights that's been traveling through to and through. You know what I'm saying? These beings that we are witnessing or whatever, they are not going to come unless we're doing what we're doing right now. If we wasn't doing what we're doing right now, we wouldn't be seeing them. I guarantee that. Because the thing is, the whole point about all of this is to get you to believe otherwise, right? Bobby Hemmett also said, right? I forgot what book he said because I gotta get that for y'all. But he also said it's a Hindu book that they talked about our Kundalini basically. That if our what's it called? If our existence was threatened, whatever, our Kundalini would come online and it would burn up everything. Let me just tell you this: our existence is not. It's not threatened. And I know that's crazy to think about, but you gotta think about it like this: are we really fighting for our existence right now? No. We fighting for knowledge. You shouldn't be fighting for knowledge. We fighting over knowledge. You shouldn't be fighting over knowledge. And I'm not telling you that you're wrong, but I'm just saying that's what we're doing. You feel what I'm saying? We're not fighting for our existence because in actuality, we are getting targeted, yes, for sure. And stuff is happening, yes, for sure. But what are we doing about it? Nothing. And that's okay. Maybe you listen to Bobby and that's what he was saying, not to do that. That's because, watch this, they understand if they truly did what we feel like they would do, right? Then our Kundalini would come online. This is the kicker. This is the kicker. If they can get us to believe that they can do this to us, like trick you into it or whatever, then they'll slip right up under our Kundalini mechanism. You feel what I'm saying? I call it the default system. They'll slip right up under that. You know? And that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. This is why all of them people were saying it's a distraction, it's a distraction, it's a distraction. They do got something going on, but it's only trying to slow down what we got going on. They can't slow down what we got going on. You see, it's hot as hell. You feel me? To slow down what we got going on, you got to bring about cold heat, which is a low vibration. When things raise up, they get hot. So we know the vibration is hot. What they say in that one song, that's a No Allegra. The energy, is vibes is out. It's hot, all that. You feel me? That I want you around. Yeah, the vibes is up. The vibration is up. The energy is up. Now, you raising up your vibration. You being able to see what's going on in these different dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Because some people can see things. Right now, what we going through right now, you cannot. If you got spiritual abilities, which I know you do because you wouldn't be here if you didn't, you can't turn them off. Some of us still probably don't know what they is, but you can't turn them off. It's over with. You done came this far. And the crazy thing about it is they scared. See, they scared because they feel like once all this takes place, we're gonna be tapping that ass. No, man. Do your thing. Do your thing, man. You feel what I'm saying? Go and live your life. It's not about that. It's personally about you. You feel what I'm talking about? It's personally about you. So it will still be about that for them. Their thing is, man, Joe, when they get like that, they gonna funk. Nah. Because what y'all done, that needed to happen. If it didn't happen or whatever, we'd still be here. Remember I told you, this is not the end all be all. We're not staying here. But let's just say if we didn't have a reason to get off this planet or get out of this universe, because we always talk about this planet. Get out of this universe. That's where we're going. We ain't trying to go to no other planet. We'd already been there. If we didn't have nothing to make us want to get up off of that, we'd still be here building pyramids. Still be building pyramids, still doing all that stuff. And yes, that shit is fly. That shit is fly, I'm telling you. But listen, You got to hear me out though. Think about this. You shit, you eat, you sleep, you get tired, you get sick. Yes, you can heal yourself. You know what I'm talking about? But all of these things have to take place. All of these things do not have to take place inside the quantum realm. You know what I'm saying? Spirits still have to eat. This is why we lay out fires for them and candles and different foods and different candies and different liquors. They still feed. The spirits that don't, they go off to probably be energy vampires. They feed off of what they can. Other individuals get trapped, you know what I'm saying, based upon where they at. That's why we do little visuals. Like if a person got shot or somewhere or whatever, and they did a visual right there, that's the most best thing that you can do for that individual because sometimes they can get stuck right there in that little realm or whatever. That's why we have poltergeists. You feel me? But the light helps to direct them and based upon their consciousness, it helps direct them to where they need to go. That's exactly why we leave offerings. And going back to the ancient times, because this is an ancient thing that we've always done. The tombs, right? The ancient Egyptian tombs, the pyramids or whatever. Those wasn't like pyramids for nobody to for nobody to get buried in and die in like that. Yes, I did say as far as the common people, they did. But the pharaohs, no royal people was. What the pharaohs done was they draped the whole little room, the chambers, with hieroglyphics. You feel what I'm saying? And the pharaoh could, what's that word? When he go in, I talked about this before. When he go inside of the tomb, the sarcophagus or whatever, he goes under suspended consciousness or animated consciousness or whatever, right? And certain people cause that's like more advanced than certain other places. In India, they would just meditate, and the person would shrivel up, and they probably just bury him. And I watch this. It sounds crazy, and they unbury him. They just throw some water on him, and they pick him up. We ain't seen that yet. What we have seen was that little Indian dude that's meditating, and they say he's still alive. We have saw that, but we haven't seen the little water. What we did, which that's still us too, but I'm just saying, what we did in Egypt or whatever, Kemet or whatever, they went inside the tombs and they underwent suspended consciousness or whatever, and they was traveling out, you know what I'm saying, all the different galaxies, different dimensions, different realms and all of that, and learning things or whatever. And people will come through and give offerings to the spirit so the spirit can feed off of that. And if nobody came through or whatever, you had hieroglyphics to guide you and to tell you what to do so you could feed, you know what I'm saying, accumulate energy or whatever, become this, do this, go here, go there. That's all that's doing. That's all that's doing. Everything, because the Bible is based upon Coptic Egyptian, which is Gnosticism. Gnosticism comes from, what do you call that? The hieroglyphics on the wall. Everything that you see on the walls in Egypt or whatever, they just wrote that down in paper form. So it's really instructions. That it's crazy how the book that we all hate is called a Bible. When we break it down, they say basic instructions before leaving Earth. You feel what I'm saying? If you look at it like that, you feel what I'm talking about? I truly mean esoterically or whatever, you would be able to understand what's going on for real, for real. We are now living in what they would call the revelation. Revelation goes back to apocalypse. Apocalypse just means to reveal or to uncover. You feel what I'm talking about? Which means why they're intermean, because revelations, pilots, all that anyways. But it's a new world. You know what I'm saying? It's a new world. Remember I told you they have to make you believe. And earlier I told you the new world order was already here, right? So we had what we was doing before, the matriarchy, and then you have this new world order, the patriarchy, right? But the thing is, they're trying to make you believe that they're taking over the world. It's already over. It's already over, and we're raising up. What's going on, sis? I'm on live. It's raising up or whatever, right? And they trying to make you feel like that they're taking over something that's already over with already. So this is why we need to still learn what we learn. What's that word? Spread all the knowledge that you can. It does not matter if that person is saying this, that person is saying that. I'm truly starting to put myself in a position to where what that person is saying, what that person is saying, what that person is saying, I can get something up out of that. Also, I can connect everything and be like, damn, like we all saying the same thing. We're all saying the same thing. There is no reason for us to be sitting there arguing none of that stuff or whatever. This is how we get compromised. You see what I'm saying? If you understand this right here, let me tell you. Let me tell you something crazy. Us, as what we are, cosmic beings, we had cloning technology, right? You know that, right? This is this is why and how people came about. Not people, but this is how they came about. So we already had that technology. They're just now getting into the phases of being able to use it. Not just now. I'm talking about like just now this year or whatever, but like recently in this modern age, they're now being able to use it. So what do I mean by that? In the in the ancient era or whatever, they would unalive somebody that would go around and spit this information, right? You got me. Let's just say it was me. Now I'm out here spitting this or whatever, just spitting misinformation or whatever. Yep. Billy Carson, yeah, he definitely do. I ain't gonna lie to you. Never mind, I ain't gonna say it. But anyways, listen, cause it don't even matter. But look, definitely, he do be talking about that. But they didn't figure out how to clone. They didn't figure out how to clone. So they're not gonna kill nobody no more. You feel what I'm saying? Or unalive. They won't unalive anybody anymore. What they're gonna do is clone. They're not just doing it no more. Like all the prominent people that was being taken out, they're not doing that no more. This is what they're doing. And so you ready for this? A lot of our people, a lot of our spiritual leaders that's coming out right now, whatever, that's not talking about the spiritual aspect of things, are preparing for something physical. You know what I'm saying? We already got that in the bag already. The physical thing, we got that in the bag already. You got to get your mental up. We are in a cold war. A cold war is a war that's not fought physically. You feel what I'm saying? I have seen they clone Tyrone, and I want to do a lecture on it. Like I want to do a video on it because I got a strong channel on that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That shit was so deep. That shit was so deep. I can't even talk about it right now. But they cloned Tyrone. All I can say is this right here. I know for a fact, right? All I will say is Jamie Foxx, right? Jamie Foxx was doing something. People wasn't paying attention, but Jamie Foxx was doing something. And he was making like little videos, little interviews or whatever, and he was saying like, "Man, I'm finna reveal something." Woo, 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 woo. And then out of nowhere, he just gets sick. You know what I'm saying? Wooby gets sick. Y'all screen record this. He gets sick or whatever. And then after that, what's the word I'm looking for? After that, this movie come out. They clone Tyrone. Now, of course, they clone him in there, but it's really about the main guy. But it's saying two different, because everything is based on duality. Remember, in this physical reality, we're gonna always have duality. You know what I'm saying? Even if you can be talking about oneness and spirituality, whatever, but they're always going to explain that in a way of duality because it's what we're dealing with here. You know what I'm saying? And if they embed oneness inside of you, right? The matriarch, the divine matriarch, the cosmic mother, if they install that inside of you, whatever, I don't even want to tell you. I don't even want to tell you. But listen, we're gonna get back to cloning. They found out how to clone. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother lecture as far as, you know what I'm saying, the channels that I got off of that. But understanding they got this type of technology to clone. They're not gonna be just taking out people no more. They're gonna utilize you and your information, your platform or whatever to get the people that y'all have, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? That's why, you ready for this? This is why nobody is supposed to be worshiping. What is his name? I'm gonna say it. What's his name? Elijah Muhammad. People don't even know Elijah Muhammad said that you're not gonna get no more prophets no more. What does that mean? I'm not a prophet. If I'm a prophet, we all prophets. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm only talking about something that you already have already, something that you can already do and all that stuff or whatever. Something that the religions back then didn't do. Because this isn't a religion. It's just life. And I'm telling you to go and understand yourself. You feel what I'm saying? To understand yourself is to understand the universe. You know? And they was talking about that, but you got to understand why, or not why, but why they put it how they put it. See, I'm gonna just say this: Elijah Muhammad, he had what he was. He was the messenger. So we know that's Jehudi, Tahuti, Hermes energy. Why do I say that? Because Jehudi is the messenger of the gods. But that's just too cliche. Also, he has 7 stars on his hat. 7 stars in the crescent moon. That's Tahuti energy still. You get what I'm saying? And the 7 stars is the Pleiades. The Pleiades is the staff. And utilize that staff. The 7 stars is the 7 sisters, but it's also a staff. So utilize that staff with the both masculine and feminine energies rising up. We have the wings on there. That's all Tahuti energy. The entire time he was channeling Tahuti. You feel what I'm saying? Now, it didn't start with him, but it started with Farhar Muhammad. But everybody's more familiar with Elijah Muhammad. But Elijah Muhammad is the one that made that statement. But yeah, he said you're not gonna have no more. We are all that if that or more is what I'm getting at. Ain't nobody coming and save nobody. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Any individuals that come to you and tell you that, oh no, you can't, they're false. You know what I'm saying? Listen, in the Bible, I'm gonna go back to it. See, because I don't, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're trying to force it down my throat, the Bible says, do not worship false idols, right? What do you think the false idol is? Celebrities, famous people, all that stuff. People that you worship, you will get money or do this or do that to do that or to be involved in this. You know what I'm saying? And the God in the Bible, not to worship that. I wonder why. If you worship, that is outside of yourself. Anything that's outside of yourself. If you worship anything outside of yourself, you give up your ashe, right? You give up all of your energy that you done accumulated. And remember I was talking about the colors. They always tell you the white light, or the white this, the white that, the white this. I'm not talking about in terms of skin pigment. I'm talking about the actual color. Reflects, meaning the light just bounces off of it. It is not absorbed. If it is not absorbed, right, you can't raise up no energy. But watch this. What about the individuals that can absorb? You can absorb, but we wear reflective or deflecting things. You know what I'm talking about? To project our energy out. That's what we're doing. We want to accumulate our energy, hold it in. You know, we can put it certain places or whatever inside our body, where, but that's just getting too deep into it. But what I'm getting at is you want to accumulate that light. That's what you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's based upon 2 words. You melanin, melanin. Some of us have you melanin. Some of us have pheomelanin. All of us have neuromelanin. The melanin inside of your brain and your neurons. If you do not have the UV absorbent melanin, which is eumelanin, you can absorb the hidden light, the amun, the amen, the amen. You cannot absorb that. You feel me? And utilize that throughout your being. Now, you do have some, right? But what you got to do? You got to tap into the hidden aspects of the mythology, the different gods, the different goddesses, or whatever, or what they call the dark side. Because the dark side is a spiritual, um, a spiritual, I guess, counterpart, a spiritual counterpart to what's physically going on with this heat and these solar flares and these coronal mass ejections. That's what a solar flare is. All of that shit that's coming off the sun right now, and it's hot, right? It's hot. I ain't talking to us no more. My you melanated people, I'm not talking to us. It's hot right now because us, the you melanated beings, are absorbing it. And when I say you melanated, please don't try to make that like a new thing. I'm just saying that to have reference and make examples. It's not nothing. We cosmic, we chaos beings, we gods, whatever you want to call yourself. We are everything because we come out of the uncreated potential of everything. You know what I'm saying? I think we look down on the uncreated, and we look at creation as something higher standard or whatever. Creation is nothing. Creation is a sequence of series repeating itself over and over and over and over and over again. Why do I say that? Because apply anything. I'm gonna go back to the Bible. Just look at the Bible and the whole creation story, and apply that to sex and having kids. It's the same thing. And then apply that to the cosmos being created, or what they say. You know, science. It's the same thing. If it's the same thing, right? We got to step outside that. Outside. The book is called Outside the Circles of Time. That's what it's called. We got to step outside the circles of time. Time isn't really real. The thing that makes time real is the fact that you can say that this existed. But how do you know this existed? You feel what I'm saying? If this is not real, if we call this a matrix, how is this actually real? What's real is what we take from it. That's why I say it's only about you and what you feel and what you deem. What do you take from this that's real? Surely you're going to take the pain, the suffering, none of that. But you had to go through it to understand to not go through it again. And we've been here for 100 billion years plus, whatever. Or you want to say 13 billion. It doesn't matter. Because what you are on a quantum scale, see, I don't care about what you subscribe to. I'm talking about what we are on a quantum scale. You can tell me what you want all day, but if you have what I have, I understand you and I are alike and we are reflections of one another. And that still goes for the rest because that self-hate, like I was talking about earlier, manifested outside of us. And what is it doing now? We like to say, man, they trying to take everything. They trying to do this. No, they're trying to raise themselves up. You feel what I'm saying? We fought each other. Listen, let me tell you this. In ancient Kemet, you had the Typhonian Egyptians. Typhonian Egyptians, they come from Atlantis. So let's just put that there. They came from Atlantis. They was doing all that, tapping into the Great Mother. You feel what I'm saying? After that, you had some other people out there or whatever, black people. This the Egyptian this is Egyptian mythology. So you could just go study this, but this is what it is. You had some people come down from Nubia or whatever, and they said the Nubians had this Egyptian mythology. But mind you, we have Typhon. Typhon, you ready for this? Typhonian Egyptians. Typhon, because they wasn't called Typhonian Egyptians. That's just the name that we say right now. So the people that was practicing Typhonianism or whatever, Typhon is a Greek god. You feel what I'm saying? How before the Egyptians looked like us, dealing with a god, a Greek god called Typhon, because these were the ancient Etruscans. These were the people that founded that Greek religion. This is where that comes from. Don't nobody know where it comes from, but that's where it comes from. And this is what I'm talking about here. So basically, right, you got to know who and what you are. If you have all of this, and I know you do, if you look like me, it don't matter how you feel. You will be here still feeling that way with because you possess a soul. So when it's over with, you'll be like, damn, I was done for just doing all that. Because there is going to be a time when this is over with. But until then, you can still float around here and do what you want to do. Been here for a long time, many lifetimes. Yes, many lifetimes. And it's for a reason. It exists nowhere else, but only here. But if you wanted them to exist in your new realm, they would. You know what I'm saying? The more powerful, or when you become more powerful, or whatever, you will see as far as getting a mate. Like I always speak about being an individual and having an individual experience. I'm saying that because you're preparing yourself for certain steps in life. Um, a lot of us, when we was younger, we just go out, we doing our things. Females call it the whole phase. The guys call it whatever we call it. We just going out. I can't even say it. I don't know because they're gonna block me. But you know what I'm gonna say. So the guys call it what they call it, whatever. But it's the same thing. And what we say, we getting that out of our system, whatever, until we find what we find. We preparing and we're at the band. This is the thing. It does not stop there when you find an individual. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't go out there and be celibate, none of that. I'm not saying that. What I'm getting at is you trying to learn more about yourself. And if that means you in a relationship or whatever, you see what I'm saying? And it does not an entire reality that either way it still exists because you created it in the astro, so it still exists. And that's what we heard. That's what we heard at. Sometimes we can't do that. What I'm getting at is when I talk about the individual path, it's an individual path that leads to a path of, like, let's say a binary star system. the Earth, or the star system that we live in, the constellation. I like to say that because it's weird how we live in a star system and they don't have a constellation. The constellation that we live in was a binary. It had two binary stars. It had a star. It was a binary star system. But now we don't have another star no more. The ancient Mayans talked about that. Now we don't have another star, so now it's an imbalance. You see what I'm saying? The Earth is not, or the world is not really balanced like that, or whatever. In your reality, it'd be different because you are individuals. So it'd be kind of weird to create your own lover inside your head, which, you know what I'm saying, we have done, and I encourage individuals to experience this on a more self-loving way. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm talking about after you leave this particular place, it would be kind of weird to do that because you are in actuality living by yourself basically. You still doing it right now. Nobody really exists, but I'm just saying, in real reality, real reality, ain't nobody gonna exist. So when you merge your DNA, your information, your light with your particular mate or whatever, you know what I'm saying? What y'all are doing is creating a new universe, a whole new reality because y'all are your own individuals. So it's gonna have different forms of information or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? And y'all come together. This is why you have a pineal gland and a pituitary gland. This is why you have all of that. But listen, I think I done held y'all here too long. You feel me? I'm probably ain't gonna do this lecture again today. I'm probably gonna come back on here tomorrow and do it again or whatever. So if y'all want to hear more of this, just tap in or whatever. And basically, we really didn't get off topic for real. Basically, what I'm talking about is melanin and what it does. You know what I'm saying? The different functions of it or whatever, and correlating that to spirituality, because I feel like it's egotistical to get on one's post and say things like, man, well, you know, spirituality isn't about this. Spirituality is about spirituality. One thing I can say, it kind of is. You see, because I don't see nobody else that doesn't have this, right? That doesn't have this, doing this. And when I do see it, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying it's not common. So when you do see it, I understand that they're utilizing that melanin inside of their brain. And if they done it effectively or whatever, right, then they can survive what's going on right now. But the individuals that sit around wondering what's going on, I don't care about your feelings. Because it's not about your feelings. It's not about my feelings. It's about what's going on right now. It's about the facts that's being brought about right now. You know what I'm saying? What time? I don't know. See, because I ain't really no teacher, y'all. We all family. I'm getting up here telling y'all something that we didn't have a conversation about thousands of times already. But I think I should get a little bit more I guess structured. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because it's three of y'all, so I'm comfortable with that. I've learned a lot, right? And like I say, it's a spiritual journey, it's a spiritual path, it's an individual path. As an individual, I'd be shy to get up here, y'all. I can sit here and talk to people 1,000 hours and it would just flow. And I talk to them about everything that I've learned, everything that I know and everything I experienced, right? But I'd be shy to get up here. I don't know why. And I know that's a personal problem that I got to get over with, right? But I feel like it's better telling you guys and saying it, and it'd be easier for me. And also I stutter, which I used to didn't stutter. Well, I did when I was like 12, but I used to didn't before that. But this came about. And I know it's got to do with anxiety and all that stuff. So I'm telling y'all, like, the Alchemist, Soul Shine, they've been trying to tell me, like, man, you got to get out here, you got to do this, you got to do it. And I feel them. But it'd be hard. You get what I'm talking about? But, right, I'm speaking this into existence because I can't be up here talking how I talk or whatever, and I'm personally going through what I'm going through as well. Even though that's something so small. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm not that type of individual. You feel me? Hold on. Well, do remember, didn't know about the different types of melanin. Oh, yeah. I didn't either. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as I didn't come out consciously knowing it. None of us did, but it's still in us because we have it. So you have melanin, and melanin has a consciousness and a function. and it's connected to your being on the innermost, deepest levels. So technically, you still knew it subconsciously. You get what I'm saying? Me, I knew it subconsciously because, you ready for this? You resonating with it right now. If you wasn't, it's individuals that will take this information that I'm putting out and won't resonate with it. It's individuals that will take it and will resonate with it, regardless of what they have in the first place. That tells me that they already knew it. It be the cells inside the body. You know what I'm saying? Not the conscious being, you know. When you meet somebody, you be like, dang, they look familiar. I like this person with the bam. The atoms inside the body will react the same way they reacted when they met in the past life. It's why we cosmic family. It's why we resonate. And I don't have, when I say cosmic family, I mean actual cosmic family, or I just mean y'all my cosmic family. We cosmic beings, y'all my cosmic family. Hey man, one of y'all on this lecture probably was talking about this 3,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? 100,000 years ago, whatever. And I was listening. That's how it worked. Well, I feel you. I'm kind of shy too, talking to crowds. My comfort is in the background. Yeah, but listen, let me tell you this. And I don't want to say this to, you know what I'm saying, scare you or none of that, because that's not what it's about. Like I said, I can sit back and I can talk to individuals, right? I can talk to people, but those individuals are who made me get on TikTok and YouTube in the first place. What I'm saying is they was tired of hearing me talk. So even if I get comfortable, I know y'all now, so you know what I'm saying? It's like we having a conversation, yada, yada, yada. Okay, but more people start to get this information. It's about spreading the knowledge, regardless of what you believe or not, you feel what I'm saying? A person may not believe nothing in what I say, you feel me? But when I transcend from this place, I'm immortalized already. Because you never die. You feel what I'm talking about? You never die. You never die. You don't be, what's that word? You gotta be humble. Don't be prideful about the knowledge you're getting, because what is that? You know what I'm saying? Watch this. Certain people be prideful about information, but they're not applying it, so therefore it does not become wisdom. If it doesn't become wisdom, then you're not manifesting anything, meaning it's not a, what's that word? You're not having a child, understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. 1 + 2 = 3. You know what I'm saying? You get with a girl, she's so beautiful. You feel what I'm saying? You're not giving her the information she needs. You're not giving her the love, the comfort that she needs, or whatever, to allow her to let her guards down, whatever, to her DNA, her genes to you, whatever, so y'all can merge them together. You feel what I'm saying? Become one and have one. You feel me? And that works. That works on all scales of life. It does not just have to be with an individual. 1 + 2 won't always equal 3 when we're dealing with this physical reality, because that's mathematics, that's the science. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Howard, he cold-blooded. He got something that I really feel like I resonate with that, but that's just too much to even be explaining right now. But as of right now, we understand 1 + 2 = 3. It just becomes information instead of it just becomes information. In actuality, that's all knowledge is. You know, so if nobody's applying it, you know, then what does that mean? You just sitting around. You just sitting around for show. They told you to go 12 years in school to learn the same language. You went to an English college or English school, high school, whatever, to learn what? For the same how many years? You feel me? When in the ancient times, we had already known about whatever, all of that stuff that they teach you in high school, middle school, grammar school, and in college, you already knew about that, right? At the age of 8 years old, there was no concept of a teenager, you feel what I'm saying, in the ancient times. What I like to say is the teenager is a modern concept, and all that means is an individual that feels like they know everything. You feel what I'm talking about? When the Christians, when the new people that's speaking right now, whatever, the Hebrew Israelites and all that stuff, whatever, they be saying we the children of light, we the children of God and all that stuff or whatever, right? That particular light, that particular light is the light that's within. You feel what I'm saying? That's the God that they're talking about. The God is your soul. That's what you're supposed to replace it with. You feel me? So we needn't be arguing over that or none of that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? We know what's going on. But I keep telling y'all I'm finna get off the live, and I keep getting dragged in. But I just explained that to y'all, and that's what it is. Let me see. Let me think about. Peace, family, peace. I'm wrapping it up right now. Let me think about what time. I don't know what time I'm gonna get on. I don't know what time I had got on earlier. I might get on around like maybe like 4, maybe 4 or 3 Eastern time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because I want to continue to do it, and you know what I'm saying? The what's his name? 360 he didn't got me to, you know what I'm saying? I love that dude, y'all. I love that dude. Hey, I appreciate that. For sure. I love that dude, because all the stuff that he be saying, he be like, oh man, he helped me every time I come on his life. He helped me. I try to tell him and express this to him that he helped me more than I helped him. Yeah, I sat there and listened to him and explained everything and did all that because this is what I love. Yeah, we from the same state, and I lived in the city that he was from or whatever, but that don't mean anything. I never knew him then. And I truly felt like I was helping somebody. You get what I'm talking about? And I never even met this person in the physical. But I feel like I've known them all my life. So this right here is something that I love. To get on here and talk and do all that. And you see, I'm not even looking at y'all. That comes with that, and I'm stuttering. But to be able to get on here and be able to spit that information or whatever, bro, it helps. And I feel like Soul Shine as well, Soul Shine, 360, all of that, bro, they amazing, man. These are some amazing beings. Like, I don't see it. I feel like us as melanated beings, we don't express that. You know what I'm saying? Especially males. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna express to the women or whatever, but to each other, we need to be able to express that, man. So, but all y'all, I love all y'all, man, because y'all here. You feel what I'm saying? Nigga not just saying that. Don't listen. No, I get emotional. I get emotional and start crying, but listen the whole time, for real. I just love what's going on. Regardless of what you have, if you have the willpower or drive to be able to want more and learn more, maybe you can survive what's going on right now, because it's really not based upon what we have. See, I said it. We got the U melanin, yeah, to protect us, but mentally, if you believe that it's hot or all this or whatever, you will yourself up out of here. You feel what I'm saying? So it's ultimately due to what's going on inside of yourself. And I appreciate y'all for coming through. I might do a little live tomorrow at 3 o'clock or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna keep this going. I don't know what I'm gonna name this, but we're just gonna keep this going. You feel what I'm saying? I might put it on YouTube. My phone be tweaking for real, y'all. This is why I don't be want to go live, because I don't know. You know, some people, they drop the lives and they put the video up on YouTube. I can't be doing that sometimes because my phone, I don't understand it. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Just keep being you. You on purpose. No, for sure. Look, y'all be safe out there. Peace and love. You feel what I'm saying? Appreciate you. What you appreciate me for? You feel what I'm saying? If it wasn't for y'all, how would I even raise up? See, whatever I say, you resonate with. And then you expand on that and you just build more. It'd be more than what I said. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, see? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it could be more. I expect the individual to take whatever they feel like they resonate with from me and to create whatever they deem. You know? In my eyes, so what, 360 side taught him. In my eyes, yeah, okay, I did teach him. But he's way bigger than, and I love that. And he be trying to just take me along. No, nigga, that's you. This is what I expected. This is what I wanted. I'm like Dr. Mama. I be wanting to be in the shadows. I am coming out more or whatever, because this is an aspect of me, you know what I'm saying, utilizing, I guess, my hidden side. My hidden side is what y'all see right now. My dark side is I don't be talking to nobody. You feel what I'm saying? Well, my light side is what you see right now. Whatever. My dark side is what you see right now. Whatever, y'all get what I'm trying to say. But I'm finna get up out of here because these cars driving through here, I don't like it. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all be safe. You feel me? I'm gonna be on here at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern time. Peace and love. I got some books, but I ain't even talking about no books. So if y'all want some books, you just hit me up. Ask me what you want. You feel what I'm saying? And then, you know, we could do that. Whatever you're looking for, we could just do that or whatever. If anybody need any consultations or whatever, I'm definitely doing consultations. I know people be charging the arm and leg for consultations. I'm not charging the arm and leg for consultations. You feel what I'm saying? It's definitely a set price, but it's nothing that you don't spend every single day. So if anybody want like a personal conversation, you feel what I'm saying? And I ain't stuttering. I ain't stuttering and doing all this, and I take my time with really understanding the question and what you have, and to get to the point of what you need or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? We can definitely do that. You just hit me up on Instagram, the same name. You feel what I'm saying? But y'all be safe. I gotta go charge my phone up and give me something to eat because I feel depleted. Peace.